All right, what is good, my people? We are back once again. Another location sports rundown. We got a whole lot to get to today. You know what I'm saying? The college football playoff is right around the corner, so let's just kind of start there. You know, a lot of big games happened this weekend. Oregon took care of business. Michigan got their dub over Penn State, and the others pretty much remained where they are. What did you think of what took place this weekend? What stood out to you the most, I'd say?
What stood out to me the most this weekend, Jaden Daniels had a hell of a game. And everybody's saying he's the best player in the country. I don't think so. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the country. You know, he's a great college player. We have this all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, Tim Tebow, Marcus Mariota. I can go up and down the list of just great college quarterbacks. Geno Smith, which he's having some success right now, but still, you know, mainly a great college quarterback. You know, Colt McCoy. Guys like that, you know, they just fit the college game so well.
They do.
So it's like they're synonymous with the college game, and that's how I view them. And for me, another thing that stuck out this weekend, we got to talk about the Michigan Penn State. I did think that was a vulnerable game. That was a vulnerable game for Michigan. I thought Penn State could maybe capitalize off of the Hall of Fame coach being gone and their heart and soul of their team and their home, and they couldn't capitalize. As a matter of fact, their offense looked even more stale and just horrible. They couldn't move the ball at all. So for me, I'm about to touch on Penn State a little bit. Well, hold on. I'm gonna ask you this question: is James Franklin, is he the guy at Penn State? Because when he went there from Vanderbilt, he had all the hype in the world. Players coach, he can get anybody to run through a wall. You know, and here we are, a decade in, I think, just about. Yeah. And he hasn't even been to a Big Ten championship. All that talent, Michael Parsons. I'm not going to name all the talent. Yeah. Penn State has had talent. He recruits well. He recruits very well. You know, they've had great defenses, but something has been wrong with their offensive, their quarterback room. Tyler Hackenberg. What's the other guys? No, 14. Forgot his name. He wasn't.
McSorley.
Yeah, Trace McSorley. Those guys. Look, Jarrell Lard gonna be the #1 quarterback in 2025, 2026. Save it. I have seen no flashes, no sparks from him. I have seen no plays, no throws worth talking about from Drew. So for me, Penn State I think they're in a world of trouble. Yeah, they lose 2 or 3 games every year, but it's always to the teams that they need to beat to have success.
And what were we saying about Jim Harbaugh before he was winning the games that he needed?
Like, what world are you living in?
Ohio State.
Thinking
there's pressure.
You're going to be at Penn State, not be in Ohio State, Michigan. So you tell me, what did you take from you?
Well, first of all, when you let a team rush for damn near 300 yards on you, I don't care who you are, really, you're probably not winning that game, okay? And, you know, the Michigan quarterback is fine and all. The man, I will give him this. He can run the fucking ball too. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I think there's a plethora of other quarterbacks out there, so I don't really see why we're hyping this guy up like this. But Michigan has so much talent. It's just I didn't really see another outcome for him. And you know, we might touch on it a little bit. I didn't think that the stand-in coach, Shamar Moore, needed to be blubbering like a baby. I understand that it's emotional. You don't got your head coach there, and you know they played a tough, gritty game.
I don't blow that too much now. Like, come on, you know it was emotional. You know they could have lost that game. He saw what we saw. Happy Valley. You know. Whatever, you know, I understand.
And just like how we just talked about, Penn State don't win these big games. Y'all were the favorite. I'm just saying, it was a little much.
I don't think they were the favorite, but people gave them more of a chance with Jim Harbaugh not being there. But,
fair. But yeah, like we said, Jim Harbaugh was under hella pressure before he started beating Ohio State.
Alabama and Georgia have clinched the SEC championship berth. Yes. Here we are. it's finna be a situation.
Because Georgia looking vulnerable.
Listen to me, and I'm not a big fan of their quarterback. The same way I'm not a big fan of Kyle McCord. You know, but they have so much talent around them, it doesn't really phase what's going on. So, Georgia, Alabama in the SEC championship, right? Let's say they both get there, but Georgia gets undefeated, of course, and Alabama gets there with just a loss, and they still got to play Auburn, a Hugh Freeze team, a very feisty Hugh Freeze Auburn team. But let's say they get past that and get to Atlanta with just one loss. Let's say Alabama wins out throughout the SEC championship with just one loss. They're in, right? Georgia sitting right there with just one loss to Alabama in the SEC championship. They're in, right? Florida State wins out because they play nobody else in the ACC is putrid. They're in, right? So Ohio State and Michigan, the loser of the Big Ten championship does not get in. I'm sorry. No. The loser of Ohio State and Michigan does not get in. You have one loss. You don't play for a Big Ten championship. You're done.
Ohio State depends on how they lose, right?
No, it doesn't. Because
if it's by a field goal, you don't think that they're going to see? Because Ohio State's ranked #1 in the country, right?
Look at what's shaped up around them. If it was a type of like a top 5 where it's been shaky, teams losing games here and there, it's not. Okay, you can't deny Georgia with a one loss just at Bama at the SEC championship. You can't deny Alabama winning out and just losing to Texas. That's it. A team who might be a one-loss team at the end of the year. You can't deny Florida State for going perfect. You can't deny them. And they have a game at the end of the year against Florida. Let's see if they can. Let's see if Florida State and Alabama can get through the last week rivalry week with the in-state rivals. You know, Auburn and Florida. Yeah. That can be throughout the record. That's tough games. Billy Napier, his team can beat Georgia one week and the next week lose to Vanderbilt. So you know. They didn't beat Georgia, but I'm saying like that's a team that can play their best any given Saturday. So for me, there's no room for error for Ohio State and Michigan. You lose a game, you're out. They're not gonna have any sympathy for a 12-1 Big Ten team sitting at the crib, not playing for a Big Ten championship. Okay. Now the question I have for you is, which team outside of Alabama has the best chance? One-loss team has the best chance to get to the playoff outside of Alabama. There's Texas. There's Oregon. You know, Washington is still undefeated, but I don't know.
I don't like the way that they.
I don't know.
You see how Oregon went and handled business against USC.
So I guess it's out of
a shootout when they went against Washington. And then this last weekend, who did Washington play this last weekend? I was watching that game. I'm blanking on it. But really and truly,
Arizona. No, it was Colorado. It was somebody.
But bro, like that game was nip and tuck the whole way, pretty much. It was like the last couple minutes that Washington pulled away.
If they beat Utah 35-20.
If you have decent corners, yeah, Utah, which was ranked number 12 in the country, and they're damn good. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, they have definitely overperformed for what I thought they were going to do, having lost their starting quarterback from last year.
Buddy, quick side pause. Cam Rising, what the fuck are you? Look, bro, you missed this whole season, dog, and I heard this injury was not that serious. Go. I'm sorry. Go.
Hey, bro, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah.
You left your team hanging like a fucking piece of meat.
And now they got this little pseudo-star quarterback that
they're
calling him the pig farm. Like, his story is making his little journey
Big Twelve favorites next season.
I would say. Yeah, man. But I would still say, personally, Oregon has the best chance to get in. They're one loss, yes, while against Washington. Every other game, they've handled business. They've never looked just straight up outmanned, outgunned. They went up against the number 1 pick in the draft, and they handled his ass. More on Caleb Williams in a bit, because that whole shit just went off the rails.
So Washington, they're undefeated. Like, and I didn't even mention them in my playoff prediction. So Michael Penix, we know, is a top 3 quarterback prospect in the draft, which is irrelevant to what the playoffs. But my question is, what does Washington have to do to get in that top 4 consideration? Because it seems like people are still ready to put Oregon over them. And let me just answer this question with the best one-loss team real quick. I think Oregon is one of the top 4 teams in the country. I know what I see with my eyes. I know what I saw. You know, the game against Washington was very emotional. You know, back and forth. high tides, low tides. That was probably the best game of the season. Like, yeah. Outside of, you can make an argument Texas, Oklahoma.
Colorado.
Yeah, I'm sure Ohio State, Michigan will have something to say about that in a week or two. So, but very great game. And Oregon, to me, is very complete. Bo Nix has kind of replenished himself with Oregon. He came in there and just made himself, I think it's a top 2 round pick. Not top 2 pick, a top 2 round. Like, he'll get picked by the end of the second round. I mean, the guy's putting on darts. He's throwing darts. He's getting guys open. Yeah, and he has a lot of skill around him. Don't get it twisted. The Oregon team, they're going to be competitive. In that Big Ten, they're going to be favorites next season. Dan Lanning, he denied that he's going to be a candidate for the Texas A&M job and all that. But I love what Oregon's doing. I love all of that. So any more like side notes on the one-loss teams? Anybody that you feel like I'm not talking about that has a chance in the playoff?
Like I said, just to go a little more on Texas, I know that they got some people out and things like that, but the way they played does not instill confidence in me. Okay, I said after week 1, I heavily overrated TCU. Yeah, it's my bias. I'm a fan. I went there, all that. But to blow a 26-6 lead within a span of about the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, I'm sorry, bro. And our offense is not that. It's not that. We don't like not one of our 3 quarterbacks. They're all garbage. And somehow they was able to shred that vaunted defense like that with all that talent on that D-line and all that. And it really comes down to they just ran out of time because it felt like they were going to go score again if they got the ball. I just don't believe in Texas like that, bro. And then especially what you did against Kansas State the week before as well. You're multiple weeks where you're blowing leads where you should be securely handling these games.
Well, let's focus on a couple of things in that argument you can focus on. Okay, first of all, I give a lot more credit to the Big 12 than what most people do. I think it's a lot tougher conference, more competitive than what most people want to give it credit for. Like week in and week out, these are great teams, great offenses you got to prepare for, great talent. The Big 12 is very fast. People don't talk about that either. Very, very speedy conference. Lots of speed on both sides of the ball. So, I wish college football was a lot like college basketball, where you had a chance to play a lot of non-conference games, so you can see the record. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, the Big 12, they will beat a lot of these teams in other conferences because the speed of these teams catches a lot of teams off guard. The schematics, the creative schematics of it. When Texas Tech plays anybody, they give them problems. Yes. When they play Oregon, they give them problems early. It's just just actually being there and seeing it. Big 12 is a different ballpark. I'm not saying they're the SEC. I'm not saying they're the Big 10, but they're in their own lane and they do things uniquely their way. With that being said, Texas, I think they're doing just as good as what they should be doing right now. I've never expected Texas to just roll through every week, beat everybody by 30 or 40. With the players they have on paper, should they? Probably, yes. But they're not. And let's be real, what team is doing that this season? Nobody. So, I think Georgia should be doing it, the talent they have. Ohio State should be doing it, the talent they have. It's not always that way. These guys are not going to go in and get ramrodded every week. Just because he was a Rutgers don't mean he sucks. I mean, if somebody from my school had got signed to Rutgers, I guarantee you he went the fuck off in my school. Okay, he did put in work. We got to remember some of these are good players now. And but Texas, Jonathan Brooks out for the season. That's why I hurt him. But it's Texas, so I suspect the backup not to be too far of a drop off. I don't expect him to be the number 1 rated running back in the draft, but I expect him to be somebody that can go in and get us 5 yards when we need it. Before 3 to 5. So, Quinn Ewers, I heard he's coming back. I think he's been hearing too much talk about Arch Manning and Malik Murphy. And, I think he's ready to come in. This is going to be his last season in Texas. He's going to go into the draft. He'll be drafted about a 3rd round or whatnot. But,
I don't know how much of a difference he'll make wherever he goes.
Yeah, but Texas, they'll be fine. Who do they have left? I think they got
let's look that up right quick. Why you do that?
Let's look it up, God. Look, we are human. We don't remember every fucking thing. Okay, that's why location is relatable. You know, we'll do stuff like this. You know, like because we are the people. We are you. Sometimes we didn't plan on talking about who Texas play next week, but we just brought it up, and now we're looking at it because we love you guys. And
all I know is that you might say that they're fine and all that.
Iowa State. So Iowa State, Texas Tech, the next 2 weeks. I'll say, Iowa State is a sneaky tough game. Sneaky tough game. Very physical. They've been one of the more physical teams outside of Texas in the Big 12 for years. You know, and where is that at? I think at Iowa State, up north in that cold, get your sleeves on, get ready, and come on with it.
It's gonna be whipping.
So,
hey,
now
at Texas Tech, say it again and again. And I've been said this. The Big 12 beats each other up, and they do this shit every single year, basically. So that's why let's wait and see about Texas. I just don't know.
Let's stay in the state of Texas. Jimbo Fisher. This is the most expensive buyout in history. I think like $75 million or something like that.
75, 77.
Yeah. Like that. He's gone, deservingly so. I mean, I'm not blaming A&M for doing it. If any coach needs to get fired mid-season from a program that he should be doing way better at, Jimbo Fisher. So, put some names out there. Who do you see? Are we talking Deion Sanders? Are we talking Urban Meyer? Are we talking Eric Bieniemy?
I would like to see them. I would like to see them go try to get an Urban Meyer.
Yes,
I think that's honestly the best candidate. Deion would do great if he went there, but I really do think that he's invested in what's going on in Colorado right now. Dan Lannon, as you said, pretty much about himself. Why would he go there when he's already got something really going on in Oregon?
Oregon, A&M, it's kind of they're the same. Yeah,
it's basically
Bill Knight. You probably gonna stay Oregon. Big Ten. Yeah.
I think it has to be Urban Meyer, bro, because he's gonna get recruits, and that's never really been a problem for A&M. And I expect that if he does show up there, you're looking at probably instant success for the most part. I'm not saying playoff first year, but you would be probably in that running. It's not going to take years to turn that type of situation around to me. But Jimbo, man, it must be nice to go sit on your ass and you just going to collect millions, boy. Millions. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Well,
but they had to do it. We talked about it all year. We were saying this before the year even started, that he should be on the hot seat.
Yeah, of course. And, we're going to talk about later about how golden my takes have been preseason, but a lot of people going to say, going to put Mike Echo in a lot of these jobs, head coach from Duke, which deservingly so. He's had a great season. He's a literal basketball school. More of a basketball school than what Kansas will ever be. Less of a football school than what Kansas will ever be. And he's had them beat Clemson to compete every game. They've been competing. Should have beat Florida State. Yeah. So had a close game in North Carolina. Crazy good game I watched. You know what I'm saying? But Mike Elko, if they get him, okay. But I don't know. I don't think he fits the, dare I say, the image. I don't think he fits this A&M Texas football. This is a different league now. This is one of the jobs that. This is one of the elite jobs that even the elite couldn't figure out. Even the Hall of Fame coaches couldn't figure out. Bear Bryant couldn't figure it out. Okay, okay. Let me get to go. Kevin Sumner couldn't figure it out. Okay, where am I going here? Well, where am I going? I forgot his name. Coach Tannehill and them, the glasses, very respected coach. He couldn't figure it out. A&M, if you want to talk about facilities, they have it.
A1.
Top of the line. Money, they have it. Top of the line.
Yeah.
Recruiting, fan base in your backyard, recruiting talent, Texas, you have it. A fan base, home crowd advantage, 12 man. Oh, you have it.
102,000 are showing up.
Man, great colors, you have it. Conference, SEC, you have it. Wins against Bama in the last 6 years, you have them. You know what I'm saying? So there's some things to look at, and this is by far, I don't care what job comes open. This is by far the best college job available. It's going to be available all year. So for me, you gotta call all the big dogs. Any big dog that sits on the couch that was getting looked at, that was in anybody's candidacy, this has to get your attention. Texas A&M, come on now. Yeah. Texas A&M, you about to start playing Texas again. Oklahoma, Bama still, LSU. Divisions are going out in the SEC, so everybody's playing everybody. You playing Georgia, Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Very interesting.
Man, you know, I'm actually excited about this. I'm always excited when A&M hires a coach because it's like, it's so much possibility, so much potential there. You know, so much untapped success. Bro, I feel it. But A&M, I'm not a fan.
I mean, they're wearing their stuff.
Bro, I feel it. Okay? I didn't even fucking notice this fucking lassie right here. Okay? I feel it. Oh. And A&M, take your time. Take your time. You know, I will look in the NFL. Take your time. Call Bieniemy. Okay? I will call Kellen Moore, see what's up. You know, bro. This is one of the few interesting, intriguing, big time jobs in college that I feel an NFL, an NFL candidate, like an NFL coordinator or a coach, will consider leaving the NFL for. Okay, the same way, you know, Jimmy went from Miami to Dallas, but the same way Nick Saban did, you know,
after he flamed out the Dolphins.
But you see how that method works out in college now. Yeah. But look, I will call Bieniemy. I will call Bieniemy. Colorado wanted him 3 or 4 years ago. He didn't want it because, you know, he wanted to stick it out and try to get a head coaching job in the NFL. What's some NFL names you could think for that job? I would say you had to get like a good young guy up in there, man. Wow, this is fascinating, bro. Like Texas A&M, what are you gonna do? Who's that? Is Urban Meyer a bust, right? I mean,
well, his college record is impeccable now. I mean, yeah, he flamed out when he went to the Jaguars, but his success in college has never been a question. And if you go from somebody like Jimbo Fisher, who people perceive to be a top-tier college coach before he got to A&M, I feel like it's only right that you kind of up the ante and go for somebody like Urban.
Are we getting our Riley? What's in the Riley brother? Garrett Riley. Are we talking Ken Browse, TCU? Well, he doesn't make good cases.
Both of them need to be fired.
Yeah, you know, so we're gonna see. A&M got some questions to answer. You got some things to handle, and so college. Let's kind of wrap this up here. So, as of right now, who do you envision being in that top 4 playoffs this season?
Ohio State. I'm still gonna think that they're gonna give more respect to this Big Ten.
They beat Michigan.
I do. I think so. And when both of them end up having one loss, based on the last several years of how the committee refuses to disrespect the Big Ten, I see both of them making it. You see Florida State's strength of schedule and stuff like that. I don't think people are going to respect it as much.
Is Marvin Harrison the best player in the country? He has been playing incredible. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
He's been averaging about 170 yards in the game.
I would say. I mean, hell, the only thing holding him back is his quarterback for real.
Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, who would make more of a contribution to a franchise? That's a real argument right now.
When you say it like that, then the quarterback is that valuable.
Who you throwing to?
That's fair, but who's throwing to you also? That matters. Okay, so yeah, but if we're saying regardless of position, who is basically pound for pound the best, I'd give it to Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, my top 4, if I had to choose right now, Georgia, no order, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Florida State. You know, and
I still have Oregon sneaking in, by the way.
Yeah.
That was my preseason pick. I'm going to go ahead and stick with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel it's going to be up. They're banking on Florida State losing because that's a team that's really kind of fucking it up for a couple of teams right now. Florida State. So
and I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I feel like they'd get run off the field by them other top teams if they did make it. If they make it into the playoff,
I've been watching.
Jordan Travis is one of the. He has high highs, but boy, when he is off, it is way off.
Okay,
the inconsistency is
look
crazy.
At the quarterbacks, Georgia and Ohio State running out there. So that's why, and you just said J.J. McCarthy, you pretty much don't respect him. And also, for me, it's like they have one of the better situations at quarterback out of everybody in the top 10. So, you know, they have a running game. They have a defense. Okay, Keon Coleman, outside of Marvin Harrison, this might be the guy that I choose as the best.
Crazy.
You know, so they have two guys outside of him, too, that are very great. So, I think, you know, that's a team that's going to have to show people when they actually get in there. Who would they play in the ACC championship? I don't know. They just beat Miami last week in a close game. You know, it was good to see that game back, you know, getting rowdy, you know, Florida State, Miami. But Florida State, I think they have a cakewalk to the playoffs right now. They're not going to get denied. That LSU win early in the year helped them out a lot because LSU's playing better. And they handled LSU. So their last hurdle is Florida. Handle Billy Napier. Handle them. That's played in a neutral site always. So handle that, man. Handle that because I got a little feeling about that game.
I got a feeling.
Same with Alabama and when they play Auburn. I got a little feeling about that one. I don't know. People not talking about it much. Iron Bowl, we know the history of that game. We know the wacky things that can happen. Pick six.
109-yard kick returns.
Cam Newton coming back down 20. Like, we all know the things that's happened, especially in our lifetimes. And I feel like in our lifetime, this has been the best Iron Bowl series being consistently. I mean, my God.
It has to be one of the best rivalries in golf. One of the record.
At least one of the two best matchups in this series all time has happened since we've been out of high school. So, you know, recently this has been one of the better rivalries in college football. So, yeah, man, college football it is getting exciting, man. Like, I don't like it's we can really spend another hour or two on that, but we can't. So, the pros we go.
Take it to the big boys,
the big leagues.
And before we really get going on this, I wanted to ask you, how does it feel sitting next to a master predictor? And as of right now, every single division winner that I picked in the preseason is winning their division. I say they're going to win the division, but as it stands right now, I'm like 8 for 8. Dog.
You know I'll go back and look at tape, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know I'll. Okay. So.
All right. Which one? Which one? I picked the Dolphins. I picked the Ravens. I picked the Jags. I picked the Saints. I picked the Chiefs. You want me to keep going? I picked the Niners. I picked the Eagles.
We're not going to.
How do we want to do this? Come on, then.
We're not going to answer the NFL conversation this way because you know I'm coming with my very hot take. People were scared to go on a limb on, and so you're trying to make yourself look good before I make myself look good. Not going to work. So what we're going to do.
Okay, so I am right.
So what we're going to do is address the big win of the weekend, and that's C.J. Stroud over the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Some people were saying Cincinnati was the hottest team coming to this game. They won like 3 or 4 straight. Oh, Cincinnati, they're getting it together now. Doing it again. Start out slow. Everybody going to run. Jamar Chase, yada, 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 yada. But it's a guy named Sebastian Jethard Stroud, okay, that said, no, sir, and it's time for me to shine. Okay, now, this guy, I watched this whole game beginning to end. This was not by any means just a dominant win beginning to end from the Texans. Now, the Texans were up 2 possessions at one point in this game. Very early, the Texans played dominant. Very early, it looked like the Texans were going to run away and you know, get a blowout win. But, of course, Joe Burrow, very clutch player. He's going to come back and keep his team in it and everything. But what I took from that game is this. C.J. Stroud is an ultimate leader, okay? He's ready for the big time. Texans, they have a quarterback, post Deshaun Watson. They found their quarterback, okay? And Tank Dell, Noah Brown were looking like Pro Bowlers out there.
Nico?
Nico Collins? He was hurt. He did about Nico Collins. Well, Dalton Schultz. Now, let me finish before you start trying to find holes in great players.
I was gonna prop your point up.
Yeah. And now, look, the Texans. I did choose them to win the division this season. I chose them with a rookie quarterback before I seen a snap. Okay, from a rookie head coach before I seen a play being called. I chose them to win the division because I know my intuition. I know what I felt. I knew DeMeco Ryans, the new thing, it was at first, the beginning of the NFL defensive head coaches get a defensive mindset. Recently, it was like, okay, get an offensive mind, an offensive coordinator in there to get things creative. Now I feel like it's shifting to, getting a players coach in there, a former player, a players coach, a guy that can relate to the guys and speak to them on their level and knows what they're going through in this time, in this modern era. I feel that's going to be the new thing. Shout out Antonio Pierce. Shout out, of course, DeMeco Ryans. Who else we got here? That's Deion Sanders, players coach, very relatable to modern day. These coaches are starting to get more and more popular. These guys, and they're having success because they know exactly what these guys are going through. It's a difference when you played in the 70s to when you played in the early 2000s. Mike Vrabel, Dan Campbell, you know what I'm saying? Former players that played not too long ago. Yes. It's shifting to that now. So for me, I feel like DeMeco Ryans is definitely a coach of the year so far. 100%. They found that, yes, he's a defensive-minded guy, and their defense is playing. Derek Stingley came back, and this is how I know C.J. Stroud's a great quarterback, right? He's making guys, a 7th rounder, Noah Brown, look like a Pro Bowler. He's making Tank Dell a guy that NFL franchises were petrified of drafting because he had a little DUI and some stuff like that. He's making, and his skill was all right, but he's a little smaller guy, a little short. It was too many things why they shouldn't draft him high. He's making him look like one of the best receivers in this draft class. Singletary playing great, man. Running that ball. Laramie Tunsil. That's how you fucking get it, boy. That's how you fucking get it. Okay? That's a real blind side right there. Ole Miss. Do your thing, boy. Okay? Get Mr. Gas Mask himself. Okay? So he's been great. I just love what Houston's doing. Their D-line's playing great. You can tell they love playing for their quarterback. And when your team loves playing for your quarterback and head coach, oh my God, you will be surprised.
C.J. Stroud makes them feel like every time when they're down late that they have a chance.
He's clutch. He's money.
Because when he's out there in those situations and has to lead that drive to go get that game-winning field goal, if you watch him, bro, it's like he is keeping his eyes down the field. He doesn't look rushed. He's calm. He's calm. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't think that C.J. Stroud was gonna be a bust or anything, but I didn't see this, and I don't know if anybody really saw this to be the first rookie to be an MVP consideration. Now, will he win MVP? No. More than likely not. The last rookie to win it was Jim Brown, I believe. So that just speaks to that right there. But I'll say this, man. One last thing on CJ. It was really crazy to me how all of a sudden, after he played against Georgia, all these stories started coming out about how, his personality's not this and it's not that. Like, can you watch the tape? Watch the play on the field. How does somebody...
He did his job.
How does somebody try to make him slide after he put up the type of performance that he put up against the eventual champion?
Bro, he did what he was supposed to do to beat Georgia. It's like, think about it. He took them in field goal range to beat Georgia. He did everything necessary to beat. He individually beat Georgia. Okay, he can't help his kicker had a brain fart and just hooked it. Okay, he beat Georgia. Okay, you see what he's doing now. Oh, he had Marvin Harrison. Oh, did we forget Marvin Harrison went out with a concussion? I think was second or third quarter in the game, and he still did what he did. Ibuka wasn't even playing. Olave didn't play. You know, none of these guys played. Nobody wants to play. But C.J. Stroud went out there and he did his fucking thing. Okay, with Fleming and all those guys. But listen. C.J. Stroud, he's a top 10 quarterback right now. He's my top 10. When I see what I've seen, you're top 10. You go to toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and guys like that, showing them, okay, y'all made the right decision. Y'all wouldn't want to chip with him. Y'all would have did just as good with me than him, you know. Because think about it. Joe Burrow, he left because, not only because Justin Fields was starting, but because he knew C.J. Stroud was a strong candidate to start behind Justin Fields when the time came. So Joe Burrow was like, I gotta go and get out of here. So he knew he couldn't beat out Justin Fields, and he knew he couldn't beat out C.J. Stroud.
I would say it worked out pretty well. But
it worked. It worked out. Oh, of course it did.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we all know if Ohio State would have got a chance to play LSU that season, what everybody knows what the real matchup should have been. We all know who got hosed by Trevor Lawrence in the. You remember that game? You remember? And we're gonna get on that. We ain't bringing back skeletons. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So NFL, yeah. I like what C.J. Stroud did. I like what he's doing. He's the most exciting story for me right now in the league. But there's other things been going on.
One thing, because we did touch on it for a second, I just have to give, while DeMeco Ryans for sure, it has to be Coach of the Year consideration right now. I have to give props to Antonio Pierce, man. Because to see that locker room, the way that they look at him and the way that they are engaged, and they're basically hanging on his every word, and this man gets hired as an interim coach, and then boom, 2 wins right out the gate. You just see they're playing hard. They're playing hard. The Raiders have talent. It's not like they have absolutely nobody on their team. And even though Devontae Adams isn't making crazy numbers right now, his numbers are essentially the same as they were under Josh McDaniel. Small sample size right now, but he's engaged. He wants to play, all that. So shout out to Antonio Pierce, man. Doing a hell of a job and really rewriting this whole narrative about, you know, player coaches stepping in, especially after the bullshit that Jeff Saturday
rewriting the narrative about defensive side of head coaches, like defensive coordinators get a head coaching job. It's been this little thing out there. All the defensive guys don't know. They're not progressive. Their offenses are stagnant. Bullshit. You're an offensive coordinator away from having the best offense in the league. Just relax, okay? It's all about. It's lazy to blame it all on that. You gotta have a scheme. You gotta have a message, a principle in place. You know, and that's what I feel defensive-minded head coaches are better at. Is having a principle. Is having a standard. You know, offensive guys coming there with, let's throw it deep. Let's rip it. Let her rip it. All gnarly. Like, okay, we need some guardrails in this thing. We need some molding. You know. But let's go to the AFC North here. I think the most competitive division in the league: Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and
it's crazy.
Yeah. Who's that last team? Steelers. Yeah. So I said Pittsburgh though.
Steelers, Cincinnati, Baltimore.
Cincinnati. That's the right name. So, like I said, guys, you know, we give it to you real time. It's like we give it to y'all like we really got it. So, Deshaun Watson played his best game of the season. Mm-hmm. He beat Lamar Jackson, the team that's favored by a lot of people to win it all right now. If Deshaun Watson plays like that, they're Super Bowl contenders, okay? But the question is, can he play like that? Their defense is gonna come like they come. Myles Garrett's gonna be Myles Garrett, you know. And so for me, the Bengals coming off a loss. Pittsburgh 6-3 right now. That's crazy. With Kenny Pickett playing like shit. So
Mike Tomlin at it again.
So give me your predictions on the AFC North. Who do you see winning it? What's the biggest loser right now? The biggest surprising team? All that.
I would say the most surprising team to me right now and how they've been performing is the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'm still rolling with Baltimore to win the division. Outside of this past weekend, you know, they've had a damn near historic defense. Their numbers are were before this weekend on pace to match the 2000 Ravens. Okay, so when you got that going, you got the strong running game that they got, getting OBJ more involved and dudes like that. Lamar, I think he's took steps this year. I don't think that they should have lost that game for sure, but I think he's taking steps this year, dog. I like his progression and things like that. Do I see them winning the OAFC? No, because I think we know he's probably going to do that. It's hard to bet against that man, and we all know who I'm talking about. But I would still have Baltimore winning this division. Where are you sitting at right now?
I got Baltimore winning it, but the more and more I see Cleveland play, the more and more I see that defense get after it. I think they're going to be a wild card team in the AFC, and they're going to be the team nobody wants to see in the AFC. Mm-hmm. That's a team I feel they can give Mahomes problems, as in like throwing for under 200 yards type problems, throwing for under 180 yards type problems. You know, especially a team that has no receiving options and no. I don't think they even have a 2 receiver on that team right now.
I don't think so either.
So Mahomes, if Mahomes win it this year, stop with the GOAT stuff, because Brady never took a receiving corps like this. What Mahomes has to it. There's no Amendola. There's none of that. There's no squeaky little slot guys that Brady always had. He has Kelsey, so he's a Gronkowski guy.
Yeah, it's just Kelsey.
But I think he's a little distracted right now. Argentina off week with Chelsea. Anyways, you know, AFC North is very competitive, bro. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. Can we just shout him out real quick?
Shout out to Mike Tomlin, man.
This guy has had his whole career. Ben Roethlisberger, okay, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Randolph, Rudolph. What's his name? Mason Rudolph.
Jesus.
And somehow, some way, has not fell below 500 in his career.
Making lemons out of lemonade.
That's a guy. One of the other guys I throw in that name, players coach. That's the one that started the whole damn thing. You want to ask me? Okay, Mike Tomlin. Your presence, it gives something to those players that makes them always feel like they have a chance. Ain't that something a coach make you feel like somebody who who will never play a down out there on the field, and they make you feel like you always have a chance because they're on the sideline with a headset on? That's an elite coach. That's a Hall of Fame coach. That's a championship winning coach, and that's why the Steelers are always going to keep him. Colin Cowherd, he can't wait until Mike Tomlin goes below 500. He's going to rip him apart, but it's not going to happen, Colin. It's not going to happen.
It almost happened last year, and then right on cue, he turned it right around.
He read off kissing his ring, man, because Mike Tomlin he's a smart guy. It takes a very intelligent guy to keep above 500 with what he's been dealt with the past 6 to 7 seasons. You know, since that, I would say since like AB's second to the last year, you know, with Pittsburgh, he hasn't had a roster to really have a chance to compete for a championship.
And that's the question I want to get to. What do they need specifically to bring the Steelers back to the Steelers of old? The Steelers that
they got a good quarterback. Kenny Pickett's a bridge guy. He's bridging to the next guy. He's a hometown guy, so it's easy to kind of keep giving him chances. But they're going to draft a quarterback next season. It's like 9 or 10 that's capable of playing in the NFL. So that's a perfect draft to do it. You know,
a lot of quarterbacks.
They'll probably end up with a Bo Nix type guy, or you know, a Quinn Ewers, dare I say. But hey, I think Quinn Ewers and Kenny Pickett are a lot alike, honestly.
I would like a Bo Nix going.
You know, you know, experienced guy, start right away. He's going to be like 27 when he gets there, right? So,
hey, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there are a lot of quarterbacks available, but they got to get a quarterback. You know, the receiving corps is pretty decent. George Pickens, you know, and they got another guy in there, but I would say get another number 2 receiver, a good little young slot receiver, a burner in there.
That's when the Steelers have been at their best. When they had their number 1, but also had someone to offset on the other side. Back when AB had a Martavis Bryant on the other side, they were like historic type offenses.
You know, so you know, Hines Ward the opposite of the other guys, and inferior, and see, I feel that Pittsburgh is really a team that can compete in the playoffs. But do you trust Kenny Pickett? Do you trust Kenny Pickett? No. And Najee Harris hasn't been showing me much this season. So Pittsburgh, they really getting off the hook, I must say, because they have really one of the top 10 worst teams in the league. But when you have a coach like Mike Tomlin, a guy that gives you hope, a guy that makes you feel like he knows what he's doing, he's putting you in the best position to win. He's putting you in the best position to get paid, to get a new contract. You know, a guy you can trust. Players think about those things. They're thinking about, is he doing this because they don't want to pay me? Is he doing this because my contract is up? They think about that shit. Okay? So, Pittsburgh, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all always seem to not let chaos enter the building. Y'all always seem to keep the ship together, keep it afloat, keep it sailing. And Mike Tomlin, I feel you are a big part of that. You are a top 5 coach in this league. I don't care what nobody says. You are a top 5 coach in this league. No other coach can be 6-3 with their roster and their quarterback, but you
in that division.
Thank you.
So going on,
and they haven't won against Baltimore.
Going on against, you know, after we talk about a team like that that's really overperforming and things like that, who would you say is your most disappointing team this year? Considering early expectations, all that.
I would say
I think the answer's pretty clear, but
you say
it's really two. But
well, we know injury is part of the game, this and that. But before he got injured, they were reeling. The New York Giants. And Daniel Jones got the bizag. Okay,
and they restructured it.
Yes.
Before they even wanted to pay anybody else.
You draft one of the young, exciting, fast, speedy receivers in the league. The draft coming in last year, Jalen Hyatt. You get Darren Waller. You trade for him. Okay. You got Sterling Shepard there. Okay. You got Saquon Barkley. Re-signed him. Offensive line is pretty decent, I would say. Okay. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got a young, fast defense. Brian Daboll on the offensive end.
He was coach of the year.
Yeah, coach of the year. You trust him, right, to give you schematically a chance to win. Daniel Jones taking a step up. He's a guy that that everybody thought he was going to be getting drafted number 6 overall, or whatever it was, getting drafted over Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? So the Giants, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. They've been going through this before Daboll, I must say. But when you pay a quarterback that much, now Daniel Jones has a torn ACL right now. He's out for the season. You can't help that. But before that, they were going nowhere. Dallas combined, both games combined, has scored 80 points on you guys. Division rival. Record should not even matter in that game. That should be one of the hardest games Dallas plays all season is the Giants. And notoriously has been, but not anymore. Okay, and Brian Daboll is not all the way off the hook. Sir, you can't fall off this bad, okay? Not this With bad. You being the mind that you are, being the offensive mind that you have, you got to move the ball a little bit more consistently than what you have been. Where's Jalen Hyatt? I haven't seen his name called in weeks. Where's the
creativity?
That's what I'm saying. It's looking like Tom Coughlin's on the sideline over there with all this basic shit going on. And so I don't know. It's a lot of things going on right now with the New York Giants, and they're gonna have to. Should they draft a quarterback? I think they should. Daniel Jones on the ACL tear and all of that. Yeah, you got to pay him some money, but what are you going to do? Just be in denial and just lose your job, Brian? So, if I'm them, I go get a quarterback. You only won 2 games so far. You will be drafting top 7. So, you'll be able to get a top 5. You'll be able to get a franchise guy. You might have a chance at Michael Penix. You might have a chance at
Drake May.
I don't know. Drake May's gonna be
They say he's gonna go real high. So.
But I don't know. I don't know about that. A Riley Leonard. A guy like that. I really wish Shadir would consider coming out this season. He's a little bit too low to his dad, but he could go to a great situation. Shadir would be. He would be great for the New York Giants, because I really feel out of all, even the batch is coming out this year. I really feel Shadir is the best out of all of them. I really do. I stand by that, and I will be here talking about that hot take in a year or so and saying, I told y'all. Did y'all see what this guy? He's worked, bro. He has a Division II offensive line. I don't mean to get off top of it real quick. A Division II offensive line, and he's still leading the country in passing yards. Bro, he can't even get the ball off. No. And he's zipping on the down. Like, Shadir, he's that guy. But anyways, so what team were we on specifically?
We're on the Giants.
The Giants, yeah. The Giants, they're in a world of trouble, okay? They're more of in a world of trouble than what the Commanders are. They're in the worst position right now in the NFC East. You know, at least the Commanders have Sam Howell right there. At least they have a coordinator they feel.
And they're playing teams close.
Yeah, and so Brian Dable, you got one more season to get this together, and then that's it for you. I'm sorry. Because everybody want to say, oh, since Brian Dable left, Josh Allen. No, Josh Allen was still inconsistent. He was still a guy that I said was capable of having 4 picks a game. Okay, the guy just needs he needs to get some discipline. And now we're on Buffalo. You know, let's stay on them real quick.
And that's the team that I was gonna say has to be my most disappointing.
Talk about it. I mean, who said this months ago when I talked about Stephon Diggs wanting to get the hell up out of there? Okay, if that's happening, I'm wondering how much is the attitude factoring in to the level of dissension that I believe or tension that has grown.
I'm sorry, dog. I do not care about nothing. I don't. You're Josh Allen. You were built up to be the Peyton Manning to Mahomes, Tom Brady. Oh, these are the 2 quarterbacks that are going to lead the league for the next 10 years, and they're going to be battling in playoff games. And ever since those 13 seconds, it's like the man plays, and, you know, obviously he's a gunslinger, all that stuff. He's been taking risks. Ever since then, it really seems to me like he feels like he has to make absolutely every single play, and there is no tomorrow for them. And, you know, when you have Stephon Diggs, who is a good receiver, doesn't really seem like he can show it right now. You have a pretty formidable defense even still. I don't think that they're that terrible. They're really not. They should very much compete. And in a division, my God, just gargling on something over there. In a division where Aaron Rodgers goes out 4 plays into the season and you're tied with the Jets or whatever in the division, that is insane, with possibly the worst quarterback in the history of the NFL based on how long he's played and the numbers, and Zach Wilson. I mean, my goodness. And don't get me started on the Patriots. Oh, Bill. I ain't going to talk about
the Patriots drafting a quarterback.
They have to.
Yeah, okay.
They have to. And to be real.
That's why I think Michael Penix might have gone to.
But yeah, Buffalo, there ain't no excuse. And really and truly, while the Dolphins started off oh so hot, it ain't like they hadn't been on a little skid they damn self.
They're 6-3. Let's not blow up the scene. We thought they were going to be a team. Like, come on.
Look, I picked the Dolphins to win the division, but I didn't expect Buffalo to be this bad. And then to top it off, then you go and lose to Denver off of all the shenanigans that happened last night. And that's that same Denver team that the Dolphins hung up a 70 spot on. Come on, man.
Denver did not look good at all. They still won that game.
Like, bro, there was multiple occasions where the Buffalo really should have still won the game. And then you have 12 men on the field as he misses the game-winning field goal, give him a second opportunity, bang, money, ball game. Okay? I'm sorry. Josh Allen, you have got to get it together, my brother, because you're not one, you're not two. Right now, it's questionable if you're a top 5 quarterback, because we could look at the Joe Burrows, we could look at the Lamar Jacksons, hell, even Tua at this point. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So Buffalo is just straight up pathetic. I don't even know if they're gonna get a wild card at this point.
Yeah, this is a team I felt was on again one of the golden takes. I said the teams that I felt. I picked the Bengals to not make the playoffs. I said that numerous times, and that's a very real possibility. I picked the Bills. I picked the Bills to not be the same. I said they're going to take a step back. I didn't say miss the playoff. I said they're going to take a step back, and they obviously have. taking a step back, losing 5 games already this point in the season. And last season, I think they only lost, what, 3, 4 altogether?
3.
So, yeah, it's this
steady decline.
People see every season. The NFL is not only not for long for injuries, it's not for long for success. You could be a team that drafts number two in the draft, like Houston last season, and here you are the following season, and we're talking about you have a top 10 quarterback. You're going to win your division. This and that. All the future's so bright. That's what's so great about the NFL. The parity, the hope, year in and year out, that your team could draft number 1 to be in a Super Bowl contender. That's ridiculous. No other league is like that. And that's why the NFL is king, man. Like you get a decimal Houston, and now you have a team that looks like they can't be stopped offensively or defensively. And they look like they can beat anybody any given night. They look like they have a quarterback that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. So for me, I'm so excited for Houston right now. They got their guy, a head coach. They got their guy, quarterback. This is the first time in their franchise history they've had the quarterback and the head coach figured out both at the same time. When they had Deshaun Watson, the head coach was always in question. When they had Gary Kubiak, the quarterback was always in question. So they have it both figured out now. Let's see what you do. I wish you best of luck for the decades to come with this quarterback, because you're going to be in it every season. Every season they have to put your hat. They have to put your hat in the race because you have C.J. Stroud. That's the luxury of having an elite quarterback, because you're always in it. The way they always put Josh Allen in, the way they always put Burrow in, no matter what. Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, all these other guys, Lamar Jackson, where they always put them in it because who they are as a quarterback and as a player. So that's good stuff for them. And a quick Dallas take. Not much to really talk about with Dallas. They're beating the teams they should beat, and they're not beating the teams that they probably should want to beat to have momentum. But Philly game, the Philly game, I'm not gonna fault them hard for that. Dak Prescott played great. He played amazing. No shame losing to Philly in the last minute or so, the last drive. That's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see a blowout. I didn't want to see no San Francisco. 42-10. Yeah, I didn't want to see that. That's what I didn't want to see. I don't mind it being close. It's an NFC. It's an Eagle. It's Philly. Come on, it's Dallas and Philly. I just wanted to see them, if not win, then say, oh, they should have won because of this or that. I did not want to come away from that game saying, oh, they got their ass blew out. So they should have won the game. They were literally like 2 plays away, inches away from winning. So it happens. It happens. I think they'll get them again in Dallas.
Step out of bounds.
You know, hey.
Because that secondary is vulnerable for the Eagles.
It happens.
You saw it.
It happens.
Even with Darius Slay and Bradbury,
but
they were going up and down
in this same juncture, if we can say all this about the Cowboys, we can also admit that the Eagles are not the same. They're not as explosive as last season. Their defense isn't as solid as last season. I think A.J. Brown has took a step up, and Devontae, their receiver corpus took a step up. You know, but overall, they're not as complete. You know what I'm saying?
If you can block their line, then they're gettable.
Jalen Hurts is saving Nick Sirianni's ass. I think Nick Sirianni's a joke.
Man.
I think he's a Nathaniel Hackett. I think he's all of that, bro.
The way he front runs is crazy.
Bro,
he over on the side.
Bro,
I'm not gonna lie to you. You're starting to piss me off. I'm not gonna lie.
He is the biggest clown in the NFL, bro. And let me tell you, that's a bigger testament to Jalen Hurts and all those players around him that they make him look so good, because he has a great squad, a great roster. Bro, that coach is a fucking clown. I'm going to tell you, he's a fucking clown. Okay? So put that out there, and something's going to come to light eventually to cement that statement. And I'm telling you now, he's a fucking clown, bro. And he does not deserve to be a head coach in the NFL. I don't know what, bro. Jalen, you were saying that. They can't do nothing about it, bro. Look, they can't just not lose. They can't just not win. So they're gonna keep being them. They're gonna keep winning games and being who they are as a team, as players. But that, bro, one time last year, Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl had to tell Nick Sirianni to chill out, bro.
When your quarterback, your young quarterback, has to tell your head coach to chill out,
guys,
that's all it needs to say, doesn't it?
Fucking circus, okay? So That's all I got to say about that.
All right, so lastly, just wrap up NFC right quick. How do you rank top 3 teams in the NFC? It's actually really tough. You look at San Francisco, had a 3-game losing streak. They come back off their bye and they beat the Jaguars.
I got a top 3.
I got a top 3.
Philly, Detroit, Dallas. San Francisco 4. My top 3. Those are the 3 best teams I feel in the NFC right now. Period. Philly, Dallas, Detroit. San Francisco. I think around the league coordinators they got some notes on Brock Purdy, and that's like, okay, it's something we know what we can do now. You know what I'm saying? And Trevor Lawrence, I know what they did to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is a phony. I've been telling y'all that. Look up his record against defenses, top 10 defenses in the league. Look up his record against his career against a top 10 ranked defense. It is horrible. I think it's like 2 and something. The dude does not play good against an above average defense. He's phony. So,
now, do you still stand on the fact that the 49ers need to change quarterback?
They should. They should look into it. Don't invest your future to the last minute.
Not look into it, should they?
Yes. Do not invest your future in Mr. Irrelevant. I know he's had a little run. He's not. Look, I know he's proven that he can be a starter for the right team. He can make plays. He's proven that. But he's not a guy that's going to take you over the top. This is Garoppolo in another form. And they're getting all sidetracked. And I've seen Garoppolo do this. I've seen Kaepernick do this. I've seen Alex Smith do this. Okay, 49ers, show me something. Show me a guy that's going to uplift the talent around you. Okay, whether you have a defense or not. Okay, because all those guys I just named had a defense with Harbaugh. Okay, all those guys I just named really didn't. They had a running game. They had an offensive line. So it's like, okay, here we go again. Another guy is overachieving for the quarterback for the 49ers. He got receivers. He got an offensive line. Got a defense. Okay. Got a great coach. Okay. Let's see what happens.
So since they're the 4th in your rankings, do you want to see them in the playoffs as a Cowboy?
I mean, the Cowboys, you know.
You have them ranked number 2.
Okay. Yeah, the Cowboys are a different team than what they were. That was their first ass kicking of the season when they played the 49ers.
What's different?
What's different?
Yeah.
A lot's different. The psyche is different.
Oh, okay.
When you accumulate more wins, you figure out more ways to win. You figure out yourself more as a team. You know what I'm saying? Martavius Bryant, we see how that works out. You know, I think he's going to be a good 2 receiver. Lamb making one-hand catches and stuff. That's going to create one-on-ones with somebody. Gallup, Cooks. Somebody's going to be open now. Shoemaker, Ferguson, the 2 young tight ends we got. You know, make more lanes.
Been playing really well.
Yeah, more lanes for Pollard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm liking what I see. Dak Prescott using his legs more in the red zone. Our red zone efficiency is going up in the past 3 weeks because Dak Prescott, they're getting more creative, using his legs. They're using Shoemaker more. That big ass body from Michigan, using him in the red zone. That's why you got him. So, because Dalton Schultz, the guy they lost, helping CJ Stroud win games now. So, I like where Dallas is at right now. 6-3. They're one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. They're a top 6 team in the league. You know, top 3 NFC, top 3 in the AFC. That means your top 6 is somewhere in there. I don't know. And I like what I'm seeing right now. I like what I'm seeing. We're now on a losing streak where Dak is very great 2-week stretch. Very great 2-week stretch. No turnovers. I love what I'm seeing from Dak. He's acting like he's sure of himself. He's not second guessing nothing. He's not letting the noise get to him. I think he's at the point now where, like, fuck what everybody's talking about. I got to do it for myself. I know who I am. I know what I can do. And it's a lot of quarterbacks that I would take over Dak in this league. I really would. And, you know, yeah, I don't think he can win us as a Super Bowl. I don't think he can do that for us. I don't. But I do think he's better off. We're better off having him than a lot of other guys. So,
there you go.
Well. For me, I'll wait and see about them Cowboys when it matters, because you got to beat somebody that's actually good. Okay, but
moving on to the NBA, we just got started, but you know, shit's a moving and shaking, man. It's moving and shaking, and it's time to get to what the business is. James Harden traded away to the Clippers for a whole bunch of stuff. They traded Nicholas Batum. They traded Covington. All these dudes. And they're winless since he's been there. What do you make of it, man? What do you make of it?
Well, that just showed me that a front office of the Clippers, they're getting a little desperate. They have a little.
They big desperate.
They have a great arena coming next season. Steve Ballmer, they have the richest owner in the league, Steve Ballmer.
He had to buy the old arena and the new arena. That's how much money he got.
He's just, you talk about a circus. He's literally trying to build a carnival-like experience for an NBA game. And so with that being said, they're more interested in bringing big names and bringing guys that are just good for their team and winning. So they gave up all their depth, all their heart for a guy who's just looking to get a paycheck in James Harden. They're 0-4 since then, and the Phillies, they're like 6-0 since that trade. And they got PJ Tucker and Harden over there now. And Tyronn Lue, you know, I know he's like, damn, like, I have my squad.
I feel bad.
I have my squad. But yeah, because he turned down some opportunities for this team. Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? Could have went to the Lakers. He's turned down some opportunities for this team because he felt like they had enough to win right there foundationally. And now they just shook up the foundation. We're not even talking about Paul George, Kawhi Leonard no more. You know, we're not talking about, you know, Terrence Mann and all those other guys. You know, so
Russell Westbrook was playing well.
What are they going to do with this? You know, I don't know if they're going to do Harden. You're starting to lose respect from a lot of experts around the league, a lot of fans around the league because, bro, how many teams are you going to burn out on? Like, really, bro? And you can't blame him because teams keep trading for him. If he had no market, he would stop doing it. He always has a market, always. And people can say what they want about Russell Westbrook. He's always pushed out the door. He's never forcing trades. He's never, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. They're pushing him out. Westbrook would still be in OKC right now if they didn't push him out. Yes. He would still be with the Wizards right now if they didn't push him out. He would still be with the Lakers right now if they didn't push him out. Okay, so
playing for $3.8 million,
so
trying hard.
You gotta appreciate players like Westbrook, you know, because it's like when you come across a guy like Harden, it's like, damn, do you even respect this game? Do you even respect the fact that you're blessed to be in this position? You made over $300 million in your career.
It's fucking ridiculous, bro.
That's our millionaires. What do you think about it?
Man. That shit is crazy to watch, bro. I mean, I'm literally watching their games, and an open pass is given to James Harden, and he won't just catch and shoot. He got to dribble, step back, and then gets a shot block. And that shit's happening over and over again. We're throwing passes across the court, and that shit's going in the third and fourth row. I'm sorry, bro. And you know, they're in hella trouble. They're in hella trouble. Forget about the playoffs right now, okay? The way y'all are playing ain't gonna happen. I know Ty Lue said give him 10 games. Brother, I can't. The way y'all are looking, I can't give you 10 games because I don't really see how this is gonna get better. This is the only way I feel like you salvage this. And I feel like a lot of people have it backwards. People are saying move Russ to the bench to lead the shock troops. I think you move Harden to the bench to lead the shock troops. When it's Kawhi, PG, and Russ, they play well. They do play well. And they were playing with some different rotations where it would be Russ and Paul George leading the second unit. And then, you know, James and Kawhi. I'm sorry, dog. Kawhi needs his touches. James Harden's going to pound that motherfucking ball. Russ needs his little touches, but his usage rate isn't even really that crazy. So trying to turn James Harden into a catch and shoot guy in the corner, not gonna work. You need to let him get out there where it's essentially him. And this is the spot they put themselves in. This is the spot they put themselves in. So that's why I say you move him to the second unit. Yep. Have him lead the shock troops where he can be the guy. Because remember, he's not a system player. He is the system. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
You know, and see, in like, guys, the NBA is going to be a roller coaster this season. I'm telling you. You know, and as this in-season tournament shapes up more, as these groups as we kind of get more familiar with these groups, they're divided in. It'll be more and more and more, monologue with this. But the NBA this is going to be one of the more dramatic seasons yet, because the Lakers are having that up and down so far already.
And they tend to start slow, so it's not very new.
We got to see how it's going to work out with Phoenix and Bradley Beal, KD, Dame Lillard in Milwaukee. Let's see, Miami Heat going to implode this season. You know what I'm saying? Is Zion ready to step up and have some playoff success? Is Wembanyama going to just say fuck it and start averaging 30 every game? It's a lot of stuff that can happen this season, but we're gonna be right here with you, sorting it out. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff to kind of keep clogged in yourself with sports. That's why we're here with you to vent, be therapeutic, and be those counselors to you, to kind of help you clarify these things and clear them up, and give you guys the clarity you need and the transparency in all these topics. But is there any last things you want to have said about any sport, anything, any statement you want to make going into the next episode or anything?
I feel it's only right. We didn't have a chance to talk about it since it happened, and I know we're both Astro fans, so it definitely hurts. But shout out to the Texas Rangers sealing the deal, getting the job done after you fucked up 12 years ago and was a strike away twice. You closed the deal, okay? It hurts me. It hurts me, but I have to respect another Texas team going out there getting it done. Was the Diamondbacks the strongest competition? No, but you handled your business. You did your fucking thing. So shout out to them, man. And Wemby, I need to see. I need to see a lot more. He's got it. He's got the flashes. He's got the talent, all that stuff. I do still expect him to be in running for Defensive Player of the Year, simply just because of how he's fucking built. You already see the impact he's making on that side. But I need the Spurs to get the man a real deal point guard, an actual adult point guard, because while they got nice little pieces or whatever, we need a point guard for Wemby. But that's it for me.
Well, for me, like I said, I'm just so stoked right now over CJ Stroud and the Texans. This is a great project I'm witnessing. Rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. I'm not sure the NFL has quite seen anything like it, but a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback just making so many big statement wins. And I really think they can be a threat in the AFC. I'm not saying they can win a Super Bowl. I'm saying they can get in the playoffs and upset someone who we thought was going to advance further. That's all I'm saying.
Who, if they do, like, let's say they catch a wild card or something like that.
CJ Stroud can go toe-to-toe. I can see him going toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson. I can see him going toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. I can see that, bro. A defensive-minded head coach, he's going to be sending good packages towards Mahomes. You got a quarterback that believes in himself, that believes he's just as good as Mahomes, who had a better college career than Mahomes, who's come in as a better prospect in the NFL than Mahomes. I'm not saying he's Mahomes, but I'm just saying that he has a confidence like a Mahomes. And sometimes all you need is confidence to kind of get you right there on that level, on top of that skill he has. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. Dallas, keep doing what you're doing. Keep quiet like you've been keeping quiet. Let everybody else get to shine. Let everybody else get to talk. Everybody else get those headlines. You just gradually churn each week, get better and better, and do your thing. And the CFB committee, good luck. Oh my God, you want good luck. I don't know what y'all gonna do.
I bet you wish you had 8 to 12 teams now in that bitch.
And Jim Harbaugh, get comfortable on that couch, motherfucker, because you ain't coming back. You cheater, sending niggas on the sidelines and look at signs. Everybody does it, but they don't do it to that extreme. That's extremities of scouting. You don't send a guy on another team's sideline dressed in their gear. I'm sorry, dog. Stop trying to make that seem common. That's not common. Okay? Ohio State didn't send nobody on your sideline dressed in Michigan Wolverine gear to get your fucking signs. Stop it, you cheater. You fucking gunk piece of monk. Anyways, that was the location for today. And,
yes, sir. Location Sports Rundown. We keep it hot. We keep it fresh, and we gonna be back for the next. And until then, it has been your boy T-Rav. Grown me grown. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. It helps us out a whole lot.
Yes.
Until next time. Yo.